So this is, and shout out to Colvin in the control room. He brought this to our attention.
That's right.
This morning, and I had seen Stephen A. Smith talk about this a couple of days ago. But there's this list, this survey that went viral where this woman brought it up on TikTok and talked about it. But it's from a survey where they ask women about, first date places to go. Right? And what's acceptable, what's unacceptable. And so I have the list here of, 20 things? No, it's more than that. Jesus, 28 things that are the definite no-goes for a first date.
Okay.
Okay? And I want to get your reaction to this because I have some pretty strong feelings on this.
Okay.
First one, Cheesecake Factory. This woman says, and in the survey they said, don't take me to Cheesecake Factory on a first date.
So is this supposed to be, this is the worst place you could possibly take me is Cheesecake Factory?
Well, Colvin was sort of implying that the list is in the order of like the number one thing is like the number one place that you shouldn't take him on a date. I haven't seen that in this article here. I don't know if it's in any particular order.
It seems like it. This article I'm looking at, in first place is the Cheesecake Factory, followed by Applebee's. I hard disagree with the Cheesecake Factory.
OD, bro.
I actually, to be honest with you, and maybe I'm just like not classy enough or whatever, but I actually think Cheesecake Factory is a great idea for a
phenomenal.
first date. Because everyone is going to like something on that menu.
Of course, yeah.
It's not like lowbrow, like things are at not insane price point where you're going to feel uncomfortable ordering something, but they're also not at like the bottom barrel price point. So it's like a reasonable middle ground price point, actually kind of expensive for a lot of stuff. Definitely something for everyone on that menu. It's a perfectly nice experience. I have the polar opposite view of Cheesecake Factory. I think it's sort of an ideal first date kind of a
What
place.
kind of a psycho doesn't like anything at Cheesecake Factory or thinks it's like too lowbrow? What are you talking about?
I don't know. Those like corn tamale appetizer things are so good.
I could close my eyes and pick something on the menu at Cheesecake Factory and it's probably banging.
There's a miso salmon that is quite excellent. The vanilla bean cheesecake, huge fan. You and I have personally gone on dates together to the Cheesecake Factory, which I've enjoyed very much.
Yep.
But also, even for like the first date atmosphere, I don't want something super like romantic.
That's
like,
an interesting point.
It's
All right,
got
so let me go
like
through the rest
normal,
of the list.
like a neutral vibe, and I feel like that's good too.
So let me go through the rest of the list.
Okay.
Number 2 on the list, Applebee's.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be cool with a first date on Applebee's. See, my take is a little different. I wouldn't take you on a first date to Applebee's.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to judge a guy who would take a girl to Applebee's on a first date. It's like, what the hell's wrong with Applebee's? I've been to some good Applebee's in my life and some bad Applebee's. The good ones are perfectly good.
I mean, Applebee's. Applebee's I used to really like in high school when I was a swimmer, swim meets out of town. Sometimes as a treat, I'd get to go to Applebee's with my mom, and I was really into it. Applebee's has really fallen off hard, though. What I would say is, and the next ones are Applebee's, Chili's, Chipotle, which that is pretty bad. If you're taking someone to Chipotle on the first date, I don't know what's wrong with you. And Olive Garden. So Olive Garden, Applebee's, and Chili's, I feel like are all kind of on that same level. There's also Red Lobster in here, a bunch of like wings places, which I also think that would not be good.
Wait, so let's
But hold on. Let me just say though, for me it depends a little bit on the context. Like if the guy didn't have I knew that finances were difficult for him and he's taking me to a place like that, then I have less of an issue with it. But I would still think that you could find somewhere that was that same price point that was a little less like just cheesy standard and not that good.
Okay, so Chili's, I kind of put that in the same category as Applebee's.
Same as Applebee's.
I wouldn't necessarily do it. If somebody else does it, I'm not going to judge them. Chipotle, it depends how casual your relationship is with the person. Well, hold on, hear me out. So, like, if it's like a high school thing, like you're in high school, the person you're dating is in high school,
maybe
and
in high school.
lunch break, you got 40 minutes. You're like, you want to go to Chipotle? Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? And also,
maybe in high
Chipotle
school.
is not bad. Chipotle actually tastes kind of good. Olive Garden, I'm going to surprise everybody.
But not everybody likes Chipotle.
That's
and Chipotle has had some issues with food safety issues as well, which gives it, knocks it down the list a bit as well.
I'm going to surprise everybody because I've never been to Olive Garden.
Really?
Ever.
Olive Garden.
Listen, I'm an Italian American, and it offends my people.
It offends your people?
I mean, I'm joking.
Honestly, I think you would like it.
I'm sure I would like it.
The endless soup, salad, and breadstick stuff. of these list here, Applebee's, Chili's, and Olive Garden, I probably prefer Olive Garden of those.
The movies is on this list. The number 6 is the movies. So do you think it's not okay for a first date?
Yeah, I do, because
I kind of disagree with that.
Because first date, you want to get to know this person. You want to talk to them, get a feel for them. I don't want to sit in some dark, quiet space next to someone I don't even know.
I understand that. I understand that. But also,
just uncomfortable.
From the guy's perspective, a lot of guys, myself included, we feel like I'm not that interesting. Like, we could talk in the car ride on the way to the movies, which could be 30 minutes, where you're talking, and then it's like, hey, let's enjoy the movie together, and then after you talk again on the ride home or whatever.
I'm not trying to be.
We feel like I'm not that interesting. You could know about me in 7 seconds.
I'm not trying to be in a dark space.
That's fair. I get that.
Too close to some guy I don't know.
I get that. Your house. 100% agree on that. If a guy takes a girl to his house on the first date, run for the hills, man. He's a serial killer. What else do we have here?
Let me just, on that one, I was thinking, my mom and dad, this was a very different time. Their first date was a hike. They went on a hike together.
Bruh.
And I'm like,
bruh,
Mom,
bruh.
What were you? Must have been so innocent.
Hell no, yeah.
You're going to go with some dude out in the mountains in the Shenandoah Valley all by yourself? No.
Hell no.
This is before cell phones or anything.
Many women have been lost forever that way, unfortunately.
Don't do that. Right. That would be number 1 on my list.
Number
personally.
8, any fast food chain. 100% agree.
Yeah,
you can't just take a woman to McDonald's or something on your first date. Buffalo Wild Wings. I wouldn't do it, but I'm not going to judge another guy who does it.
Really?
It's kind of like a step above any fast food chain, but not that much above it.
Yeah, but it's so, also, it's so messy to eat wings. Not everybody likes wings.
You don't have to order wings. They have other things on the menu.
It's called Buffalo Wild Wings.
So what?
You're supposed to order a salad.
You can. You can, you go to pizza places,
Kyle.
somebody gets pasta at a pizza place just because it's called a pizzeria. It doesn't mean you have to eat it.
And it's not even good. I worked at a Buffalo Wild Wings. Don't go to a Buffalo Wild Wings.
All right, well, they say Wingstop, too. They say Wingstop, same category as Buffalo Wild Wings, I would say. Red Lobster, I have nothing wrong with taking somebody to Red Lobster on the first date.
I mean, those biscuits.
That's what I'm saying. Come on, man. I'm sorry, but the women who did this survey are way too goddamn strict.
But, I mean, I kind of, listen, all of those Applebee's, Chili's, Red Lobster, Olive Garden, they're all in the same category of, not that good food at a reasonable price point that I feel like if you could do a lot better. It just comes off as cheesy and unoriginal. Cheesy, cheap, and unoriginal. I'm okay with cheap, but if you're going to do cheap, at least take me somewhere that's interesting, local, you have some connection to, not the friggin'
Well, the next one on the list fits
Chili's. All right, give me
a buffet.
A buffet? Just any buffet?
There's no chain buffet. It just says a buffet. You go to a local buffet. You're just anti-buffet in general?
I am a massive hater of buffets.
Right. So she's just anti-buffet in general. My take on it, I'm not a big buffet guy. I don't know if I'd ever bring somebody to a buffet on a first date, but I think if a guy did it again, I wouldn't necessarily judge.
It depends. That one, it depends. If it's some local, if there's some story behind it, maybe, but...
IHOP. Don't do it.
No, too lowbrow.
I've been in too many with just not sanitary, etc. Denny's, same thing. Don't do it. The gym is on this list. Taking a woman to the gym, only if you guys are both psycho, gym rats, then maybe. But outside of that, don't do it.
You're gonna go
church?
Do a workout.
Church is on the list. Yeah, don't take somebody to church on a first date. What the hell are you talking about?
Do people actually do that though?
I don't know. Starbucks is on the list. What are your thoughts on Starbucks? That's a fine first date. You go to Starbucks, get a coffee. Chill, talk, no?
I don't mind Starbucks, but if, again, it's the context of, it's not really a first date. It's let's just get to know each other a little bit. Let's go grab a coffee.
Right. Yeah,
let's go grab a drink. Let's go grab a coffee.
I would categorize that as a date, but it's interesting that you wouldn't categorize that as a date.
I think it's like a step towards a date. So I don't mind Starbucks, or I wouldn't mind,
Ice cream dates is the next one. You wouldn't mind that either, because it's the same thing. It's like a semi-date.
Same category.
Yeah. Family functions, agree. You can't take somebody to a family function on a first date. That's
a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure.
They say, well, movie night, so Netflix, Hulu, etc. You can't do that because that's bringing them to your house on the first date.
Yeah.
So don't do that either.
Yeah.
Somewhere that requires a long drive. Totally agree. That's psycho behavior. You can't take somebody on a long drive somewhere for their first date. Bowling, they're dead wrong. Bowling's a great first date.
I actually agree with you, even though I personally hate bowling. But I think the idea of here's this thing, it's low key, like neither of us is particularly good at it, but we're just going to go and have fun and be able to chit chat and have a beer and have a hot dog. Like the idea of it, I'm down with, even though I personally hate bowling.
All right, last ones. Ready? Nightclub. Agree.
Yeah.
First of all, don't go to a nightclub, period. Right? Like, there's no reason to go to a nightclub ever anyway.
It says ladies listed nightclubs.
Mine just says nightclubs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It says ladies listed. Okay, I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
Yeah.
Ladies said nightclubs was one of the things.
Not a nightclub fan in general, but like if you're going, I guess maybe if you guys are both 21 years old and addicted to meth or Molly, then go ahead. But like outside of that, no, you're going to go to a nightclub. Like, what are you, 21 permanently? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Then we have hookah bar.
Same.
I feel like that's so niche that you shouldn't do it, but when I hear that, I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Hookah bar, again, I think it's like context. If it's something you know that you're both into, then I actually think it's a good idea, especially if it's a nice one and it's a good vibe. And like, I could see that.
Then we have a bar just for drinks. I totally agree. That's perfectly fine.
Fine. Yeah.
Then we have Waffle House. Agree. Not good.
Not good.
And then we have sports event. This is an interesting one to end on because I think it's fine. I think that's fine to take somebody on a first date. Hey, let's go to the basketball game or the hockey game or whatever.
Agree. But I do think you have to have some indication that she has some interest in sports.
That's true. Because that is a big problem, right? When people they like one thing, just force it on the other person.
Exactly. Yeah. It would be like the woman being like, we're going to go to the ballet and I really don't give a shit if you like it or not. You're going to sit through it, you know? And so if she gave any sort of indication that she was into basketball, she's into hockey, she's into soccer, whatever, then I think it's a great idea, actually. But if there's no indication or no interest and you don't even check in to see like, hey, what do you think of this? Then it would be bad.
All right. And so the final point I'll make is this. Where the hell is it okay to take a woman on a first date to?
Cheesecake Factory. In my book.
So number one, no, but I agree with you. But there's no place left after you go through everything on the list. What is left? Like a local Italian restaurant run by an 84-year-old grandma who makes some banging ass pasta?
Yeah, that'd be good.
There's only 3 of those in the whole country.
Okay, well, I'm thinking about our little small town, right? And even in our little small town.
Arby's.
No, I think, there's the King's Pizza, which is not fancy.
Bro, why are you doxing our exact location? Jesus Christ.
People know we live in King George. They already know that. King's Pizza, which is lovely,
Don't show
which
up.
is family owned, which is reasonably priced, and the food is good. And I would find it charming because it's like thoughtful. It's local, it's thoughtful, it's family owned. It doesn't have to be expensive, but something like that. Something that shows a little bit of thought, a little bit of creativity, that has, decent energy that isn't just cookie cutter, I think is probably the ideal, right? Now, I wouldn't judge super harshly most of these places. Some of them I would, but, as long as my physical safety isn't threatened by you, like taking me on a hike or like on some long drive or to your house or whatever, then I'm okay with it. But, those are my thoughts.